Hey YouTube, welcome back to Tinker with Tools. Tonight we are going to be pitting two of the top and most powerful impact drivers against each other. That's right, we've got the Milwaukee Fuel versus the Flex. We're going to see which one goes through our 10 test fastest, and we're going to pronounce a winner here at the end of it. So let's get into that on Tinker with Tools. All right, so if you've been following the channel for a while, you will know that we have actually already reviewed the Fuel and the Flex impact driver individually. Both of them were done when we were doing our different style of testing, which had a lot more room for human error. So I was learning how to run the channel. So we are going to put them through the new 10 test that we are going to do. That is going to do a combination of driving and some drilling at the end to see which one of these is truly the king of the impact drivers. I think it's safe to say that in our previous test, these were two of the top ones, and it seemed like the Flex maybe had a little bit more to give, and so we're going to put it through there. So which one of these two titans is going to come out on top? Let's get into the test, and we're going to find out. All right, so for each of these tests, we are going to be running in their highest speed or their most powerful speed. We're going to go first with the Milwaukee, and then we're going to be following up with the Flex on each one of the tests. For the first test, we have a set of 2-inch deck screws, followed up by a set of 3.5-inch deck screws. So we're going to go ahead and run through those. First with the Milwaukee with a full battery, and we are in speed 3, and 1, 2, 3, go. On those smaller screws, these things go so fast that it's even hard to keep up with them. So all right, so now with the Flex, we do have a full battery. You will never mistake a Flex battery gauge for being on or off. It will let you know. And we are currently in speed 3. In 3, 2, 1, go. So there's the first test. We're now going to move on to the 3.5-inch screw. In 3, 2, 1, go. Now the Flex in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so now we're on to the 3-inch specs, doing 2 of these. First with the Milwaukee in 3, 2, 1, go. And now with the Flex, 3, 2, 1, go. The Flex there almost seemed to drive really fast, and then it got to a certain point and it like slowed down. Still both drove it very well, but especially on that first screw, it really felt like it almost dropped down a gear. Now we are going to move on to just the single drive fasteners. We're first going to be doing a 5-inch specs in 3, 2, 1. And now the Flex in 3, 2, 1, go. See, it didn't do that weird, almost like dropping down a gear thing there. All right, now with the 6-inch in 3, 2, 1, go. And now the Flex in 3, 2, 1, go. Now we're moving on to the 5-inch power lags. We're doing 1 each in 3, 2, 1. The Flex in 3, 2, 1, go. Now we're going to be going with the timber locks. We have a 6-inch for each and an 8-inch for each. And 3, 2, 1. 6-inch in 3, 2, 1. All right, and now the Milwaukee's 8-inch in 3, 2, 1. And now the Flex 8-inch in 3, 2, 1. That rounds out the driving test. We're now going to move on over to the 4x4 to get the drilling test. We got 4 of those. All right, now we're going to be doing 1/2-inch twist bit. We're going to do 2 holes, taking from start of the first hole to the end of the second one. In 3, 2, 1. All right, now with the flex, in 3, 2, 1. Man, that flex felt fast there. We're moving on to a single 3/4 inch Bosch Daredevil, just doing a single hole. In 3, 2, 1. And now the flex in 3, 2, 1. All right, now a single hole with the Bosch Daredevil, the 1-inch Bosch Daredevil, in 3, 2, 1. In 3, 2, 1. All right, now the final test that we do with the impact drivers is the 1-inch Irwin speed bore. In 3, 2, 1. Okay. All right, so normally I don't know the results, but tonight I knew that it was going to be close, so I wanted to make sure I had the results when I go through my conclusion so I can let you know what I felt. My initial impressions were that as strong as the Milwaukee is, that it was actually going to be slightly slower than the Flex. If you think about it, the Flex is several years newer. It had the benefit of already having the Milwaukee out for it to benchmark against, and it's very clear that when Flex designed their tools, they designed them with Milwaukee and DeWalt as their main competition, the ones that they were going up against. So with that being said, it felt like everything they've done is to have an impact driver that was going to outperform it. I'll have shown you the results at this point. I can't remember the exact seconds, but I believe one was 42, one was 39. That makes for a 6% difference through 12 tests. Earlier in the video, I kept saying 10 tests. The drill one is 10 tests. This one is 12. And so, yes, the Milwaukee did lose today. Now, just looking at the results does not paint the whole picture, okay? Both of these impact drivers were supremely quick in doing these tasks. Either one of them, as far as raw performance goes, is going to be a great impact driver. Now, there are things that I still prefer about the Milwaukee. If I could only have one impact in one line of tools, the Milwaukee fuel impact driver would still be the one for me. But that doesn't mean that I don't like the Flex. I actually really like this call it feature on the Flex, where with one hand you can depress it to get the bit out. It is more ergonomic than having to reach around and get that, and then with a separate hand grab the bit out. Okay, it is more ergonomic. If they were to put quick insert collet on this so you didn't have to depress it to put the bit in, this could become my favorite feature on any impact driver. But the way it stands with the button, I think it still loses out to a traditional quick insert collet, but on the eject, this one is superior. The other thing that I noticed about the test, and there's going to be a couple of tests, I'll try and point them out with some text on the screen when I do the edit. There were a couple of times where this one was driving faster on each of the 2 screws we were doing when we were doing set of 2 early on, but this one was coming up with a quicker time. And the reason for that is because the transition was quicker in between the 2 screws. Now, I don't know how to describe it unless you have held these tools. This battery on the end of this thing just makes the balance on this thing terrible. It wants to tip in certain ways in your hand, and therefore it's a little harder to be super precise with the placement on there. That is going to slow you down, especially if you're driving, say, a couple hundred screws into a deck. That amount of transition time is going to make a difference, even if it's very small. The Milwaukee feels more ergonomic in your hand because it doesn't have the giant battery. Now, I get that this is a 24-volt tool. It's going to have more cells in the pack, and I think that's where, right now, Flex is going to have a leg up if you go to the stacked lithium, that 3.5, it should take some weight off the 5 amp hour tool, but still give you a nice kick of power, and especially being kind of a next gen battery, hopefully is going to give you a power bump as well. Now, you could run this one with a 6 amp hour, but I think that's when you're going to start to see problems like you see with the Flex of it being a little bit less balanced than it is with the 5. I actually prefer running this tool with the 3 amp hour, and I think I actually showed in a test that you do get a slight performance increase either with the 3 or the 6. And so that is actually my preferred method, is save some weight, and that makes this one even more ergonomic. So when it comes down to it, whether you are Team Red or you're one of those lucky few that is Team Black, I think you are going to be happy with your impact driver. In all reality, the Flex is stronger and more powerful. We do have MPS coming up next week with Milwaukee. I don't think they're going to announce an impact driver. That's not where I feel like their focus should be as a company. But if they did announce an updated impact driver, I would dare say you're going to see something that's going to come back and take some swings at those that have slightly passed it up over the last few years and maybe even put itself back on top. That day will come when Milwaukee does release a new next generation tool, and it is going to have that. Until then, yes, the Flex is the faster, stronger impact driver for the time being. If you've got a big old stubborn bolt, go with this one. I think you're going to see better results with it. So there you have it. Face off between two titans in the industry. You can't go wrong with either one of these tools if you're just looking for raw power. I do think the Milwaukee has a little bit more refinement, and it just shows from the number of years that they've been making tools. This is a heck of a first attempt for Flex, and I think it shows that they are going to be around for a while. They've come out with some really quality tools. All right, so thanks for watching this head-to-head here on Tinker with Tools. Hope to bring you some more of these here in the near future. If you like what you saw, go ahead and hit that like button. If you have a comment for me, or if something you'd like to see with these tools, go ahead and leave that in a comment down below. And if you want to see more great videos from Tinker with Tools, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget the bell icon so you can get notified when I upload a new video. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll catch you on Tinker with Tools.